So I'm doing this to keep myself accountable because over the years I have tried and failed many times to, put on more muscle, burn more fat, and always kind of failed spectacularly. Even marathon training and things like that. Like that's when I'm the most consistent is when I'm like trying to train for a big running event, but even then, the most I do is my running workouts. So, but I'm 31 now, I'll be 32 at the end of September, and my body just isn't metabolizing the way that it used to. So, I need to do something about that because my body weight, my body fat percentage, according to my Withings body sense scale, not an ad, just what I use, was like 41% a week ago on like August 25th, which is not good, you know. Also, my like muscle mass was really low, and I've always been under muscled. Like I've always been what people would call skinny fat, where I look really skinny, but I don't have muscle mass. So I've decided right before my 32nd birthday, I'm gonna do something about that. So I had foot surgery at the end of April, April 25th, to fix a bunion, and I had a gastrocnemius, otherwise known as a calf muscle resection. I had 2 screws put in my heel, and something done to my arch. And I was cleared to start running and working out 2 weeks ago, and so I started off last week by just jogging in the pool at my hotel, and then this week I started running. I did basically like 1 minute of jogging, slow jogging, just 3.5 miles per hour on the treadmill, which I know most people can walk that, but I've always been a slow runner. I have cerebral palsy, so that plays a big role. So day 1 was just 3.5 miles an hour for 1 minute, walking for 2 minutes, and then the next Wednesday was 3.5 miles an hour for 1 minute, walking for 2 minutes, doing that for 8 cycles, and then Friday was 3.5 miles an hour for 2 minutes, walking for 1 minute for 8 cycles. So I did that. I've also started doing one of the Nike training programs, one of the ones where like you sign up for a plan that's usually 4 to 6 weeks, and the trainer kind of walks you through what you're supposed to be doing. It's usually 3 workouts. So I did all 3 of those workouts. Also, because my cardiac fitness is low, I don't know how. I'm a long distance runner, but I've always struggled to be in zone 2. ChatGPT suggested instead of trying to keep myself in zone 2 while running, because that just doesn't happen, is to go to the gym. I go to Planet Fitness and use the stationary bike for 30 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day, keeping myself in zone 2 as much as possible. And even just from Monday to Friday, I noticed how much easier it was to do what the plan was asking of me. So I knew there was going to be a result, as it was. I finally put some new batteries in my Withings scale, and I went from 41% body fat to 39% body fat, 39.3% body fat in a week, and my muscle mass went up just a little bit. So that's progress. So I'm gonna try and aim to like lose about 1%. I'm gonna give myself a little wiggle room. 1% of body fat each week. So trying to close my my Apple Watch rings, trying to stay in a little bit of a calorie deficit. I'm a big fan of Huel. If you guys know that about Huel, because I am single, and I don't know if you guys know, but cooking for one is really hard. Also, my grandma, I live with my grandma, but my grandma is like deathly afraid of carbs. The woman is really skinny and she doesn't take in enough calories, but she's almost 92, so you know what, I'm not gonna push her. But so, if I made myself a meal, I know that she would not eat it, because she would say that's too many calories, or that's too many, whatever, even though it's not. So I'm going to try little by little to make better food choices, more protein, slightly less calories, and just see if little by little, week by week, I can drop my body fat percentage 1% until I get to 25%. So in 10 weeks. So this is week 1, and I'll be back next week to share a progress report. Also, Sunday is rest day, so yeah. Okay,